Tamari the other day after the game described you, I think, as vicious and a few other adjectives along those lines. Where does that come from within?
I just like to play with a chip on my shoulder. I've always played like that. Just growing up, I always kind of idolized people like that, just playing with a chip on your shoulder, whether it was basketball players, football players. I always took pride in that, just playing with an edge.
Football players like the physicality, like the contact. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't play the sport. But how much – you seem to almost embrace it and enjoy it even more than the average player. Is that so?
Yeah, I love football. I've played it basically my whole life, and I've always just loved just being physical, getting in the trenches. I've just always loved it. It's something I've done since I was a little kid.
Cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, we'll go back to CL Brown. Go ahead, CL.
Hey, this is a random question, but do you still sell honey with your guys back home?
No, I do not. I did that for just like a couple months. It was my buddy growing up. We used to sell it on the side of the road just to make some extra money.
Did you ever get stung? I saw a story about you being in full beekeeper uniform and everything.
Yeah, no, I got stung a little bit. I didn't do it for really a long time. It was just for some extra money, help out my buddies that I knew. They were my dad's friend. But, yeah, I got stung a little bit. But we'd wear the full white bee suits, and then you smoke them out to make them sleep, and then you take the honey out. So not really anything too bad.
Yeah. And what was the bigger adjustment for you? Was it from coming from junior college to playing in the ACC, or was it health-wise coming off of that shoulder surgery and just trying to get your strength back?
No, I couldn't really pick one. I'd say it's a mixture of both, and just playing the position and knowing what technique I need to play. But I can't say. I mean, one thing I've noticed is the game has slowed down for me a lot. That's what I noticed with like AC and Stroh last year. They would see things before it would happen, I feel like, or they'd have a key. And I feel like I'm starting to pick up on things like that. But, yeah, playing in the ACC is a lot different than junior college, but it's a lot faster and the scheme's more complex. But I'd say the size and everything like that is pretty similar for the most part.
Thanks.
All right, let's go back over to Ross Martin. Ross, you can go ahead.
Hey, Ray, kind of along those lines, I mean, what was it like playing that first game with the added strength that you had in the offseason and kind of playing along Tamon Fox too? Because it seemed like y'all had really good chemistry playing the two down lineman spots.
What Coach Brown was saying, just go out there and have fun. I was just thankful to be out there. We really didn't know if we were going to have a season, but we were preparing the whole time like we had a season. And I was just happy to be out there, to be honest with you, And Tamari, they're some of the strongest guys I know, and it translates to the field, and they play 100% every play. And I think we can be good this year up front.
Was it noticeable, your increase in strength? Did you feel stronger? Were you making more plays, you thought, based on what you've added in the offseason?
Yeah, I feel like I was able to really lock out and play with my hands and play with a violence. But, yeah, I just really just putting on that extra strength was huge for me and just getting the technique down.
Yeah, and then finally, what kind of drew you to UNC? Because I believe Fedora's staff started recruiting you to UNC, right? And then, what was that recruiting process like to get here, I guess, ahead of the 2019 season?
I love Chapel Hill. I love the school, and I really believed in what they were building here. It's pretty obvious to see what Coach Brown has in the past and just seeing what he did at Texas. And he really just explained to me that we're building something here, and I want you to be a part of it. And I was excited to be a part of it. I was excited he was recruiting me, and I wanted to be a part of something like this.
So Fedora's staff recruited you first, and then Mac Brown's staff closed the deal. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's move over to Gregory Hall. Gregory, go ahead.
Hey, Ray, I was just wondering what your scouting report was of Charlotte as you guys prepare for them on Saturday.
So I watched maybe about half the game, and I think their quarterback is a really good player. I think he's a guy that can, just make plays out of maybe not what was designed, but he can move around, make some plays. When the play breaks down, he can either take it off and run, or he can hit somebody who breaks loose. And their offensive line plays well. They get movement up front. They pass that very well. They slide well, and I think it will be a good game.
Mac Brown said last night that even though the defensive front did really well, Syracuse's offensive line was pretty depleted, so he's not necessarily 100% sure that you guys can do it week in and week out. How can you guys improve from week one moving forward?
I would say it starts with technique and effort. We're going to go in the film room with Coach Cross. We're going to break down the film, and we're going to see what we did wrong. We're going to see what we did right, and we're going to be honest in there, and we're going to break it down and come out next week even better. That's the plan every single week. Come back better than we were the first week.
Thank you.
All right, last one for Ray comes from Aaron Beard. Aaron, go ahead.
Hey, Ray, sort of to follow up on that, you guys had expectations that you could get after the quarterback and be a good defensive unit. How much does it help to actually, do that in a game when it counts, have 7 sacks as opposed to what you think you can do, you've actually done it?
I think it can be a confidence booster, but, it's on the next week. We're excited about it. We enjoy it through Sunday night, and now it's on the Charlotte. Obviously it's good to do it, but it's really about doing it week in and week out, and that's what's important here. We can't just show up and then not show up the next week. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We got to have that same intensity at practice and play with an edge, and when it's time to play Charlotte, we show up and we play to that same standard.